EA Sports. It's in the game.
Camara Drive-In. It's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara. Fresh off a big performance a week ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting New Orleans Saints taking on the New York Giants. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This crowd a few minutes ago stirred into action at the side of their men in blue emerging from the MetLife tunnels. We're set to go as the Giants get ready to match up with the New Orleans Saints. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at this Giants ball club. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They're led out by their 6-foot quarterback. You may have heard of him. From Purdue, it's Drew Brees.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. On second down, here's Brees. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A very solid gain of 27.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. So the drive takes him into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. Olivier Vernon brings him down. Let's get a quick look at the Saints offense.
And we'll see the second half of their dynamic duo in the backfield, and that's Alvin Kamara, who in 2017, the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. How about this? Over 1,500 total yards and 13 total touchdowns in a debut performance. Expect more of the same and probably a little bit extra.
Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And I think he's a guy, if they had let him walk, no one was going to be shouting from the top of a mountain, but he's a good guy. He's a good locker room guy, too.
Good locker room and a good player. I mean, he's a valuable starter for them. And if you just want to start over and maybe bring in someone new, the learning curve might be a little bit big. So it's a good job by getting him taken care of, and now they can move forward.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Mark Ingram really coming into form in the NFL. First 5 years in the league, didn't have a 1,000-yard season, but he's done it the past 2 years.
Yeah, and I think a couple of reasons for that. Number one, offensive line has been rebuilt, and they put a lot of resources into that, and they've gotten better. Number two, he's had great running mates back there. Tim Hightower 2 seasons ago. Then last year, of course, the sensational Alvin Kamara. And last but not least, the defense is playing so much better in New Orleans, they don't have to throw the ball as much on offense. He can run the ball even more. Brandon, unless my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, it's the second time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Breeze hands to Ingram. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 2nd down, Ingram. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Saint touchdown. Mark Ingram, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints take it right down the field and score on the opening drive. That's just a solid, methodical drive to start this game.
And how about how it culminated? Doing exactly what they wanted to do, getting the ball downfield, and then running it into the end zone. I'm just telling you, partner, when you run it in rather than throw it in, that hurts a defense psychologically a heck of a lot more.
Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Lutz now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback, a multiple-time Pro Bowler. It's, of course, Eli Manning.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
Manning now on 1st down. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan able to drop him for a loss of 4.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. We'll remind you once again, coming up at halftime, we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He's got stats and scores from around the NFL as we wrap up the first month of the season.
No longer is he a rookie, the coach, a true veteran now.
A crafty veteran. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. From the gun, it's Manning. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Demario Davis in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That sack's on back-to-back plays.
Well, it's apparent that these guys are getting after it right from the opening kickoff. They roll right downfield and score on their first possession. And here on defense, back-to-back sacks. Someone is ready to play.
Third and long for the Giants and Eli following the sack. Here's a give to Barkley, and he'll lose yardage on this one, back to the 13. So now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. 4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 43. A very good return that time. 18 yards. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Now a play fake here on 1st down. That is caught inside the 5. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. This is Zach Line, the fullback, and he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. They'll run it with Kamara, and he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. And nothing special there. They show they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Lutz good on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. A drive there of just 4 plays, and the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. Lutz now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Saints out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone. A lot to get to here this final day of September. So let's get started. We'll get our tour started out at Venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Mitchell Trubisky, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. From there, we head all the way out west to see what's happening with the LA Chargers. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting 49ers. The veteran, Phillip Rivers, with a couple of touchdown passes there. Finally, we're off to Atlanta. Check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton, 3 touchdown passes as his guys stay unbeaten on the year. In our game, it was the right arm of Drew Brees that led the way in the first half. His guys have a 2-touchdown lead as we hand it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
You know as well as I do, it's really important to get Odell Beckham Jr. involved early. And that's the first time that Eli Manning was able to find him, and we're in the second half.
You think he and Eli maybe had some words on the sideline? Hey, let's get on the same page.
Without a doubt.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Demario Davis in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
Now, the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Third and long for the Giants, and Eli following the sack. Working from the gun, Manning. He finds Beckham complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Manning able to find OBJ there for a Giants first down.
Brandon, that's a tough guy right there. He knew that was going to happen. In other words, they had to absorb that hit. How about him securing the football, churning the legs a little bit, and gaining what he needed for a first down?
Well, that's the deal on 3rd down. These guys, they know where the sticks are. He obviously knew right there.
And if you want to be a dependable 3rd down receiver, you've got to be willing to absorb those types of hits and make those sort of plays.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On 1st down, Manning. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Manning. Oh, it was hit at the line of scrimmage and intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it, and he'll score. Touchdown, New Orleans. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. Lutz with the extra point, and it's now 21-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone. For the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle, you know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there, it's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they certainly haven't been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. Manning now on 1st down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 2nd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Manning will try again on 2nd down. And his throw here's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Shotgun now for Manning. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. Here's another failure right there on 3rd down.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Now Manning, gotta have this one. It's complete, swings it out to his running back. But they're going to wrap him up as he'll go down well short of a first. The Giants go on 4th but come up empty. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. So they'll trudge off the field with a bitter taste in their mouths after that failed 4th down conversion.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of analysis there on the sidelines. Was it the right call? Was it against the right defense? Should they have even gone for it at all? Will that change what they do going forward in this game? A lot of questions to be answered by them. The defense doesn't really care. They're like, bring it on again. We'll stop you the next time, too.
The Saints coming out now to take the field. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Now a carry here for Orleans Darkwa. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. The 1st down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. They'll run again now with Darkwa. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Now it's the backup Bridgewater. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Giants are going to get the football back. So they were really trying to put the nail in the coffin there already with this lead here in the 4th, but they didn't get it.
Guaranteed it's not going to be a fun handshake in the postgame.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. A.J. Klein coming hard from that linebacker spot. He drops him for a loss of 11. Manning to throw on 2nd down. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this 3rd down play takes place. As they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Throwing is Manning on 3rd down. It's caught, Shepard. And a loose football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. The tackle by Janoris Jenkins. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. You mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. Throwing here, Bridgewater. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play. First down, Bridgewater. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. Yeah, I can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to, because when you get to if you get to 4-0, you're not just thinking playoffs now. You're thinking about, okay, this team has the capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. They could very well be the best team in the NFL at this moment.
I think they played the best. I mean, there have been a few hiccups offensively and defensively, but probably the best team we've seen, right?
And has the ability to get better.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Lutz good on the extra point, and it is 28-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. Lutz now to kick this one away. And it's a short kick, taken right around the 19. Well, in this one, partner, we had some action all the way down to the final whistle there with the late points and then the kickoff to end it.
Yeah, and the best part about it is just seeing how teams battled all the way to the end, you know. Didn't really matter. The scoreboard was pretty well set, but they still competed until the final whistle.
So for New Orleans, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. They will head home next week to take on the Washington Redskins. Meanwhile, for the Giants, they'll sink now to 0-4, and they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.